This week you're going to be writing an essay about the journey. The journey is wide open for interpretation. We can go on a journey, which is a noun, or we can journey, which is to a destination, which is a verb. It's an action, but it's also a state of being. The literature that you read for this cluster uses a variety of forms of journeying. Can't say that. Journeying. Literal, metaphorical, temporal. Your paper will work to define how the journey functions in just one piece of literature. The journey probably works with one or more other aspects of the text, character, plot, setting, etc. So it's likely you'll want to tie the journey to some aspect as you write. Tying these together will be key. You are going to need to come up with your own question to answer. But I have a few suggestions on how to proceed. It's also essential that you use technical terminology when discussing the text you choose to write about. This means terms like the plot, persona, structure, denotation, background, simile, symbol, point of view, poetic rhythm terms, and so on. The technical terminology can be found in each of how to write about in a short story or how to write about a poem chapter in the book. Failure to employ such terminology will result in a failing grade. The process. What follows are some general comments and suggestions as to how you might proceed with writing this paper. Make sure, obviously, that you've read the text. Then reread Chapter 2, pages 22 through 25, and go through these steps with one or more of the text. In addition, look over Chapter 2, pages 44 through 46. Can you develop a similar topic area for your text that you've chosen? Make sure you really understand how to make an argument, and that's in Chapter 3, pages 59 through 68. And also, you may want to reread the chapter on how to write about about a short story or a poem. Your essay must begin with a fully developed introduction that contains your thesis, and your thesis must be at the end of the first paragraph. You're also going to summarize in one or two sentences the poem or the short story. And I've also given you some information about how to use direct quotes. You have to use at least 4 direct quotes in your essay. Signal phrases. Use signal phrases in helping verbs. Again, I gave you a link that you could click on that discusses transitional phrases and words. This is a video that you may want to look at that explains how to write a dynamite thesis statement. The format, you must have it be MLA, obviously. Put your name, my name, English 1B, and the date in which you write this essay in the left-hand corner. And then all paragraphs refer to works correctly as either short stories or poems. You will have to use MLA to use an internal citation. So you would use the author's name and the page number. Double space, 1-inch margins, 12-point font. You must write a minimum of about 3 to 4 pages. Obviously, it has to be in standard American English. Look at the grammar and spelling. I suggest if you're still having problems with formatting or perhaps transitions, that you make an appointment with the Writing Center. They are very helpful, and they'll go over your paper with you before you submit it for a final grade. I gave you a checklist on the webpage, but here are some checklist items. First of all, do you state the title and the author and the genre of your story in the first or one of the 2 sentences? Is the title properly capitalized? Do you give 2 to 4 sentence summary of the story and poem? No more than that. I don't want you to summarize the entire story or poem because I've read it. Does your plot summary lead smoothly to your thesis? In other words, the 3 or 4 sentences in the beginning should lead to your thesis. And is your thesis at the end of the introduction? And does your thesis list what you're trying to prove? There should be more than one thing, or one, what I call an element or a part of your thesis that you're going to explain in your paper. Body paragraphs. Does each body paragraph only discuss one main point? Don't have 3 or 4 main points. Go back to your thesis. Make sure that all of the sentences or topic sentences of your paragraphs are go back and relate to the thesis. Are all quotes introduced? You have to introduce your quote. You just can't drop a quote in your essay. And does each paragraph end with a tie back to your thesis? I mentioned that before. And transitions, I mentioned that as well. Okay, that's it. Good luck, and I will talk to you later.